But guess what? Dame is stepping into new territory that he's not familiar with. And that new territory is now he's actually being able to call shots. And he's not used to that. Okay, it's not easy, but it's part of being $100 million guy and a franchise guy, right? You have to make tough decisions. And so what's happening is we hear reports, before the season that Dame won out. Then he canceled those reports and say that's not true. And then all of a sudden you hear reports that, Dame wants, Ben Simmons. And then all of a sudden he kind of backpedals on that. Here's the thing. One, Dame do want to play with Ben Simmons, okay? This is a fact, okay?
Yeah, tell them. That's why I love sitting here on Mondays.
Yes, man, and if my brother Dame Dollar is watching, he knows, I know, that he wants to play with Ben Simmons. Here's the thing. You got to make tough decisions because if you go get Ben Simmons, then you got to give up one of your guys that been your brother, that you've been to war with CJ McCollum. So as a franchise guy, now you have to make these calls, and you got to remember, like you always say, this is business, okay?
Business, man. It's business.
This is business. And
welcome to Jaggy Sports. It is December the 7th, 2021, and yes, breaking news, and this was carried on from last night. Apparently, Damian Lillard, and I don't know if this is 100% true, but Shams reported it. Damian Lillard wants to play with Ben Simmons. He went back and said some people just like drama. Now I'm hearing another report saying that he wants to play with defensive players like Aaron Gordon, Ben Simmons, Jason Tatum. So, we'll see what happens with that. But new GM, and I think they're dealing with an interim GM right now. Damian Lillard is wanting a $107 million 2-year extension on his deal, and he's looking for that coming this July. But it's not looking good if you are playing like crap. And you know what? He is playing like crap. So he's not the same Dame time Lillard that we're used to. And you could blame that on Chauncey Billups all you want. Blame that on CJ McCollum, but clearly there is going to be some changes in Portland because Portland is an absolute mess right now. They had the GM Neil under investigation. The president or the owner, I can't remember who it was, under investigation. Chauncey Billups calling out his players, saying that you guys need your bench to get you inspired. You said that to the starters. So it's kind of like there's trouble brewing in Portland right now because the players are not they're not listening to Chauncey Billups at all, and it's his first season as a head coach, and it is not looking good. You think that Damian Lillard would have adjusted to the Chauncey Billups, but he didn't. The thing with Damian Lillard is he likes to stay, and he is loyal. And same thing with CJ McCollum. But the problem here is, in the Olympics this past summer, Kevin Durant was in your ear. Draymond Green was in your ear, saying you got a request for a trade. You're way better than Portland. Portland is nothing. And then he went to LeBron James, and said basically, what do you think and about a trade kind of thing like that. And he came back from that meeting saying that no, I'm going to stick it out with Chauncey Billups. Cool, you're going to stick it out with Chauncey Billups, but you know it's going even worse than it was last year. So you know it's he should have listened. He should have done this before the season started. Now it's an absolute mess. So there's a good possibility that Chauncey Billups and the whole organization of Portland gets canned. Like I'm not like a bunch of executives, because it's not getting done in Portland right now. If you want a star, which is Damian Lillard, you bring in another star and you trade CJ McCollum. Now, yesterday, CJ McCollum said, "I love Portland. I'm loyal to Portland. I call this home. I call Oregon home," and that was all cool. But it was almost as if he was saying that. It's almost as if he was saying his goodbyes. Now, there's a good chance that Portland is calling up Philadelphia right now saying, let's make a trade. Not only that, a report came out today that the Indiana Pacers want to rebuild because their season sucks right now. So they're going to trade Sabonis, Miles Turner, and Karis LeVert. Now, those are good pieces. So if Daryl Morey and the Philadelphia 76ers want to do a deal with Portland to get CJ McCollum, it's almost as if you have to include a third team, which is Indiana Pacers, because everybody knows Daryl Morey wants to farm. He wants everything for a legit contender, for a legit all-star. And you know, if you get CJ McCollum is good enough to satisfy that, but you also need a couple pieces. That's where a guy like Karis LeVert or actually not Miles Turner, they already have a center, but Sabonis comes into play. So I clearly think that CJ McCollum is on his way out of Portland, and Ben Simmons, who nobody talks about now, is returning. No, sorry, is going to Portland in a trade, and a third team which involves Indiana Pacers. So that's gonna happen, and you know it's just a matter of time. It's really a matter of time. It's whoever pulls the trigger first. I know Philadelphia. I don't think they're anywhere in the top 5 or top 4 in the standings, which they have every right to be. They have all the pieces, but they need a legit shooter again, another one, and that's CJ McCollum. So look for Damian Lillard to stay in Portland, and look for Ben Simmons to get traded to Portland. And once that happens, Damian Lillard will sign a contract extension worth $107 million for 2 years. Ben Simmons will get traded to Portland. This is Jag Mangat for Jaggy Podcast, Jaggy Sports Podcast.